Hello, hello. This is unexpected. We don't normally do these anymore. It's been a long time since I did one of these impromptu lives, but here we are. We're doing one,
Nice.
and you can see who I'm doing it with. I'm going to get it right. Over there, it's Vito. How you doing, Vito?
Very good. It's great to be back on the show, Nathan. And yeah, I think the last time that we did something like this was 2 years ago.
Oh, what was going on? It was probably a WP feedback type of thing.
Yeah, for the initial like early access of WP feedback.
Times fly. So we're here today. We're talking, if you've seen the title of this post, it's got something to do with a summit, Atarim Summit. I've got a list of 4 things that I want to ask you, 4 words. First of all, though, I'm going to put it up on the screen because it will not make sense to anybody unless we give you some sort of insight into what it is and so on. So let me just share this. So this is it. I've got a URL down there, which is how you can actually find it. But it's called the Atarim Summit. Now, let's clear a few things up. Firstly, if you haven't been following Vito's progress over the last, 6 months or so, the word Atarim might not mean a lot. So do you want to just clear up what Atarim is before we get into the summit side of things?
Yes, of course. So, well, it's where WP Feedback evolved into. WP Feedback is a plugin that we released a little less than 2 years ago to help WordPress professionals collaborate with their clients. And that evolved into a whole lot more with project management and time tracking, team management, and evolved into a SaaS product. But a lot of people were still perceiving the company as just a feature rather than a platform. And so 2 months ago, we decided to rebrand and change our name to Atarim to announce version 2.0 of the product and to get people to kind of see the new level of where we've kind of got that product into. Now that is basically helping agencies and freelancers not only with their client communications, but their entire agency management when it comes to collaboration internally and essentially getting the agency owner out of being the bottleneck and being the guy that does all of that all day long, patching codes. And that is what Atarim is all about. The literal meaning of Atarim is websites in Hebrew, which is nice. My native language. And I wanted like a broad name that we can actually keep expanding our vision, keep expanding based on the user's needs. And that's what we went with.
I'm really I was going to say it's not. You've got Atarim.io. I'm surprised actually that anything with just the single word Atarim, if it literally means websites, was available. So good haul getting that. If people happened to have used WP Feedback a while ago and then stepped away and stopped using it and then came back to Atarim as it now is, would they be able to sort of drop right in, things like usernames and passwords? Were they carried across to the new platform? And is it basically a similar interface? Would they be at home with it fairly quickly?
So it's kind of similar, but we've enhanced it a lot since what people have seen with WP Feedback. Like when we were releasing 2.0, we were kind of looking at just reminiscing at some of the early stuff. So I actually watched our session because this was really doing the beta that we were filming it. And if you're comparing this to that, it's like a completely different ball game. But it really depends on when you joined, because it wasn't just like a jump up. It was a journey, like anything in life. So there has been a lot of adjustments since then. The interface is fairly similar, but a lot better now than it was before.
Okay. Although we are to some extent going to knock around the name Atarim quite a lot, that's not actually what we're here for, because we've got something on the screen which we can see is not the product itself. This is something called the Atarim Summit. I've posted a link which you can see on the screen. But what is this? What's the endeavor here? It would appear that it's an online summit, but beyond that, do you want to tell us a little bit about what it is?
Yes. So this is our second event, really. We did one exactly 1 year ago the Web Agency Summit that was running under the WP Feedback banner, that ended up being the biggest event in the WordPress space. We basically ran the previous one after WordCamp Asia got canceled. I think you were.
I remember. Yeah, that's right.
So we ran that event as a way of I guess licking our own wounds. After the whole thing got canceled last minute, I was supposed to fly in my entire team to have like a company retreat in Thailand. We're sponsoring that event, and then like a week before it was, COVID happened. So we said, all right, instead of just sitting on our hands and not doing anything, on just being bummed, let's try and do something nice for the community. So I reached out to a few companies that were our partners, and we managed to create like a huge event back then with 5,700 and some people that joined last year. Created a whole platform for it. Amazing talks. People were just engaging for the full 7 days. Last year it was 24 hours a day, 7 days, which was a little too much. I was up for the entire duration. So this time we're doing it within set hours, and scaled down to like 4 days. But the amount of sessions and the amount of partners has only increased. And I also believe that we've learned a lot from last year. So the value that we can provide now to our attendees is like a whole different level.
So I guess the next question which comes to mind is, well, you can see it on the screen, but if anybody's listening to this, when is this online event happening?
So we're kicking things off next Tuesday, 5 days from now, 5 days, 17 hours from now. And it's going to run until Friday night. If we talk, this is all running on EST. So if we're comparing this to, well, it's 9 a.m. EST, but compared to British time, we're going to open doors at 12 p.m. and first session is 1 p.m.
Okay, that's actually one of the biggest problems with running these events, isn't it? If you've got a global audience, it's actually coordinating the time zones and making sure that everybody's up at the right time and doing things at the right time. We often get guests on shows and there's an hour that's gone astray somewhere because the time zone calculator went wrong or daylight saving got in the way. But
it's exactly what's happening this week. So we've been through this process on Monday already.
Yeah.
So I can come and say hours with confidence.
Okay, so the days for your calendar, if you're interested in this, just before we get into the details of who's involved and whatnot, the dates are March the 23rd. That's a Tuesday, you said, right?
Yes.
Up until March the 26th, so 23rd, 24th, 25th, 4 days. I had to actually do that on my fingers. Did you see that? That was ridiculous. And if you go to the website, you can sign up. But I guess with all these events, thank you, for free. Yeah, all of these events, what people really want to know is who's speaking and what they're speaking about. Now, we don't have a week to talk about this because we could. There's a lot of people talking at this event. But I know one of the things that you wanted to do was give a shout out to your sponsor team, if you like, the people who've decided to assist you. Now, I confess that prior to running my own summit, which we did last year, I hadn't really figured out what the value of the whole sponsorship thing was. And what I mean by that is just how much these sponsors deserve congratulations, really. Yeah. I was very keen when we did our summit to pat the people on the back and say thank you, because without them, these events literally don't happen. They put in support, financial support. In some cases, they might actually be involved with the team. I don't know in your case, but we're showing them on the screen now. I don't know if you want to mention them by name, but I'm more than happy for you to give these guys a shout out and say thank you.
So first of all, I would agree with you, and this is something that I was organizing events for I don't know, almost 20 years now, mostly around music in my previous career, festivals and like all kinds of evenings and stuff like that. So I was organizing events from the event organizer point of view, and then from the band point of view, and then from the speaker point of view. And over the past couple of years, I had the opportunity to also sponsor a bunch of events in our space, WordCamps and private events that some influencers have created in the WordPress space. And what I really felt is that there was, exactly like you're saying, there wasn't really that amount of, or that understanding of gratitude of what sponsors really do for the event. It's just like, give me your money and step aside while I deal with the other stuff, right? A lot of times, not always. So when I started creating our events, I tried to look at this from a sponsor's point of view. So you're going to see when we're going to look into the platform a little bit, into the how it's not just a logo on the homepage, but they are really integrated into everything that the event is all about. And especially when you have partners like this, then it's kind of a shame not to, because like this is mind-blowing to me. And Nathan, we're talking about this before the session, that we were was just a freelancer just a couple of years ago using all of these tools, all of these companies from a user point of view. And now we're partnering with them, and they put their trust in my team and my company to help create that event. But more than that, they are the people that are driving the power of this event and why it became such a kind of a big event in our space. So yeah, a lot of thanks to GoDaddy, WP Engine, GridPay, Nexus, WordPress.com, which is crazy on its own, Thermageddon, Wiglot, High Level, Groundhog, FixRunner, Cloudways, Shield Security, freaking Elemental, WP Activity Log, Yoast, and Wahi. Is more of a kind of a platform-based sponsorship there. But yeah, thanks a lot to you guys. And
don't underestimate, if you've never organized the summit. I this time last year I hadn't, and I really didn't get how much work was involved, and there is more than you would imagine. And so you've got to dedicate a lot of your calendar in the prior time. So, and obviously you can't do that for absolutely nothing. So congratulations for to the sponsors. Thank you for helping put this event on. Okay, so that's the who in terms of sponsorship, but tell us about the who in terms of maybe why people would want to show up. Who have you got on as speakers? Now, I don't know how we're going to go through this. I don't know if you want to just like laundry pick a few that you're particularly interested in personally, or just go through them sort of quickly, one at a time.
So I would start with the categories first, which is if you scroll up just a little bit, you see that we have the 4 categories of the event, which is build, expand, scale, and thrive. And so like with other events in our space, or specifically, with WordCamps, a lot of times the sessions are, most of the sessions are around the technical aspect of building a website or optimizing a website, or the different technologies that go into that, the different angles. But it's really focusing around creating a product, right? From our perspective, I wanted to give that a bit of focus, but really the whole thing is around how to build a business, how to build a successful freelancing, web freelancing business or web agency in our space. And the build comes into play where it comes not from the aspect of how to do SEO for your website, but how to improve the websites that you're building for your clients. Where you as a professional should focus when you're looking into dealing with SEO, where you as a professional should focus when you're dealing with storytelling, when you're creating the copy for the clients or guiding them for creating the content on their own websites. So the first category is really about the build itself, and again focusing on not just what you can do for your own site, but how you can deliver that, because it's a different ball game. When we build our own website, we sometimes allow ourselves to go really deep, But when you're building a website for clients, in most cases, it's like, okay, I need to get this project done. I can't spend months and years developing this project. I need to move on to the next ones or to the next clients and so on. So the mindset is a bit different. As I imagine you would agree there. So if we can kind of like slowly.
Yeah, let's quickly go through though. But we've got Marika van der Raakt from Yoast. She's talking obviously SEO. We've got Todd Jones, storytelling with content. Amber Hines, accessibility. That's a big one at the minute, isn't it? Yes. Chip Edwards. I actually really would like to speak to Chip because I spoke to somebody about Amazon Alexa and the importance of voice in websites in the future. We've got Tanya Quinitieri. I'm not sure if I've pronounced that right. Building websites for a global audience. Then we've got Alexander Sakovic. Is this core website vitals? Oh, that's such a hot topic, if that's what it is. Miriam Schwab from Stratic, talking about static first approach.
Yes.
Paul Goodchild, maximizing security, a very important point. Donata Stroink, Skillrod. Oh, is this? She's from Termageddon, right? Yeah. So just about privacy, and they're really fascinating service they've got, providing all of your sort of documentation and contracts and things like that. And then Pat Gallagher from GridPane, talking about 4 secrets how to do fast and profitable sites. Great.
So that wraps up and prepares us for the next category here pretty nicely, because it's not about just you need to build a good product for your clients, but you need to get it done, right? And this is also very important in that sense. And then once it's done, now let's see how we can really build a business around that, creating the sustainability that you need to keep serving the clients that you're building over the time of your career, but also to keep monetizing them. Which I know that when I first started, I just wanted to build websites. I wasn't really aware of recurring revenue.
No, me neither.
Kind of stuff, right? You just go into this because you like building sites. It's like a creative endeavor more than anything. But there's a lot more that comes to it, because then you realize that even after you delivered the website and you told them, here you go, here are your keys, they're still going to come back for questions, for support, for problems that might occur, for changes that they might want to do as their business evolves. And I was not geared for that, right? I was just like, okay, I'm working on another project now. I can't, and by doing that, and by chasing the next client every time, I was leaving so much money on the table to building that recurring revenue. And I was missing out on creating security for myself. Because, I'm sure you had that experience, Nathan, as well. Like with web design, a lot of it is like feast and famine.
Oh, good Lord, yeah.
So doing the feast, everything is awesome, but doing the famine, you're freaking out. And having like sustainable recurring revenue throughout those tougher months is what saved my agency in the later years. Once I figured that one out properly. So this is what this one is about: how to expand your profits, how to expand the sustainability of your business when it comes to additional services. So that's what we have from David here.
Okay, David from WP Engine, monthly recurring revenue. We've got the ever amazing Chris Lemmer talking about a single paradigm shift. Is it good?
This one is something I'm really looking forward to, because it's the paradigm shift. This is exactly what I was mentioning. So it's not just about how to build a website. It's about how to build a business. And this is a mindset shift. So it's not just about understanding. It's not a technical aspect. It's really reprogramming our minds to think in that matter, that you're actually not a designer, you're not a developer, you're a businessman, and that is really something that is interesting.
Yeah, he's always got great insights, hasn't he? And then we've got, whoops, my screen's just gone a funny shade. There we go. Now we've got OV from Social Bee, increase your website design agency's recurring revenues. Then we've got Sam from Fix Runner. how to sell WordPress care plans. That's a pretty important one for everybody if you haven't got on board that train already. Nicole Osborne, how to get noticed by your dream clients on LinkedIn. This is an area I really don't use LinkedIn. I could probably well do with hotting my game up on that. Elementor, Ben Pines, who's very much part of the Elementor team and part of their public-facing efforts. Elementor features and hacks for agencies. And then Chris Badgett from Lifterlms, how to become a high-value WordPress LMS consultant. This is, especially during this year, this pandemic year, the whole LMS market must have just swollen so much, and the interest around this subject must have been so much more than it was like 18 months ago.
Mark, it's also coming from a place of, so he's talking about becoming an LMS consultant, which is, I think, is a great niche to go into, especially nowadays. But really, it's more about finding that niche or understanding who you're serving. So it's not just about, again, just building a website. Chris is talking about becoming an LMS consultant. The result is that you built a website, right? But the way that you frame it, the way that you look at it is by, I'm going to help you create the desired result of your business, which is creating a learning management system.
Nice. And then we've got Martin, who's with the WP White security team. Website security is not a one-time fix. That's an interesting one. Good for care plans as well. That's
exactly
holding those things together. Yeah. And then Mike Demo, invoicing and you getting paid, WordPress tools and making happy clients. That's good. And then we've got, forgive me, is it Thibaud? I don't know how to pronounce that. Multilingual websites.
Thibaud.
Okay, thank you. I don't know which of the tools on offer he's going to mention with that, but obviously, if you're going to be in a bigger market, a big fish in a big pond, you need to be able to translate things, which then leads us to scale.
Exactly. So once we know how to build a website properly, not for us, but for clients, how to deliver a website to clients. And then we know how to create that sustainability within our business by expanding additional services and creating recurring revenue and attracting the clients that we want. Now it's time to scale things up and to make sure that we're doing things in a more systemized way, so that we can create repeatable processes that can be applied to the different projects. And as we're starting to bring in more people to our team, all of these things all of these quirks become a lot more apparent, because up until this point, everything is usually in the freelancer's mind, and that's it. It's not written down anywhere. It's not being taught to anyone, but really starting to understand project management at scale. Where does this time goes? Where does the dead time go to? And where does the profit leaks? And all of those kind of things become super magnified as you scale. So that's why we have this category that will tackle all of these different questions and challenges when you grow.
Okay, so we've got Stephanie Hudson talking about possible ways to decrease your workload while increasing your revenue. What's not to like about that? Marcus, founder and designer at Perfect Evolution, proactive project management. Melissa Love, who is talking about turning your website into a marketing machine. Got this chap here. I've never
for a second. Because this one is a good point, because we had the build category to talk about how to build a website for your client, and then through the expand, usually what happens is that you're working with friends and word of mouth, and you kind of like building your name just through your personal network. But really, to scale, you don't need to only systemize your internal processes. You have to systemize your sales processes as well and create a recurring stream of leads that are coming from your website. So this one is, I think, really important for people that want to not only keep working with their immediate social kind of network, but really expand to different countries, different audiences that are beyond their reach with their personal network.
Nice. Then we've got this chap. I don't know who he is. Never heard of him. Vito Peleg with a slightly older photograph, I would say. With anyway, you're going to be talking about 3 main bottlenecks of every website project and how to avoid them, which is obviously an area of your great expertise. Chase Buckner, why smart agencies are pivoting to a SaaS service model. Again, I'm sure you know nothing about that, Vito. Beth Livingston talking about the magic of the change budget. Devinder, oh, lovely Devinder. Make yourself stand out in the WordPress space. That's probably quite important these days. With 40% of the web running on WordPress, it's now no longer okay to just say, I build websites with WordPress. Well, so does he and she and them, and they do as well. So make yourself stand.
Nathan, both of us are a good example of doing that. So is Devinder. How efficient this is when it comes to creating additional opportunities for yourself. Just leveraging the power of this amazing community that we are all a part of is something that a lot of people don't put enough emphasis on. And I think through WP Builds, you created a whole business around that, making yourself known in WordPress. And I think that this is a pretty interesting talk for every person to go through. Yeah.
So that's Devinder. And then we've got Natasha talking about the end of scope creep forever. Oh, yes, please. That would be great. I actually recently commissioned something that I needed building and realized that I am literally the worst client imaginable. I am scope creep personified. So hopefully Natasha will tell you how to rein people like me in. Adrian Toby from Groundhog, how to design, build and deploy a CRM marketing automation projects faster than ever before. What a great product Groundhog is. And then Matthew Rodella, who's always into WAS, why every agency needs a WAS. This is just such a great model if you want to go in that direction, building a WAS model. Yeah. Especially if you niche out on something and figure out that, I don't know, mechanics, dentists, whatever it might be, churches, schools, you can build out a perfect set of templates and get your clients on there. And then that brings us to the last of the four, Thrive.
Yes. So with Thrive, what we try to do is create a category that is kind of like on one side, the utopia of what a lot of us are kind of aspiring to get to, and to give us a bit more clarity as how does this look like really day to day? Because I remember that when I was a freelancer and I started my agency journey, I said, all right, I want to get to I set a number, which was a really random number in my as a goal, that I want to get to an agency that has 40 employees. To me, that sounded like the number of that will get me to my revenue goal, right? But you really don't consider a lot of the implications of making a decision like that, whether they're good or not, as to your day-to-day. Is this really how do I want my day-to-day to look like? Dealing with 40 employees, maybe it is. To me, it still is. But I know that it's not for everyone. So getting that insight from people that have already gone through those processes, building big companies, and understanding how they operate at the corporate level, at the enterprise level. And so with GoDaddy, this is going to be a really interesting conversation that I'm looking forward to. I kind of wanted to open up, and I think I only managed to pull this up because I have such a good relationship with Adam. Specifically, Adam used to have an agency of his own, and then he built Foo Plugins. That was like a pretty known plugin company back in the day, before he sold it and moved over to work for GoDaddy Pro. And what I really wanted to open up, and we see GoDaddy in all kinds of different activities that they do in our ecosystem. You see their booth at every event, right? Yeah. Their kind of things. But then there's always this kind of underlying elephant in the room of people don't really want to use GoDaddy because of all kinds of different reasons. So I started using GoDaddy when I first started, and I opted out when I started growing. And I wanted to really open up an honest conversation about that, about how a brand that is like $1 billion brand, how do they tackle those aspects internally, and even maybe we're gonna find some of those answers that we all keep asking ourselves when we see the name GoDaddy being published in different places. So this one is really a conversation that I'm looking forward to.
Fascinating. I know that I think Adam joined GoDaddy Pro in 2018, so he sort of has a big job on his shoulders of clearing up some of the stuff, some of the legacy stuff that you just mentioned. And for my part, I've met him once, and I've had quite a few email chats with him. Really genuinely nice guy, I think, with his heart very much in the right place. So yeah, well, that'll be fascinating seeing how that can be done. And then we've got Christina Romero, measuring the value of your web agency. Fabulous.
Christina just sold her agency.
Did she?
A couple of months ago. Yes.
Oh.
So this is something really interesting, because we all do all of this work, but how much is it worth, really?
Yeah. Figuring it all out. How much is it worth? Maybe that's the strategy. Get to a certain point and then figure out if you can sell it on to somebody else, see what it's worth. Jimmy Rosen, what I would and wouldn't do again when building a 50+ employee agency. Well, there you go. Vito speaks to you.
Exactly. Jimmy has one of the biggest agencies in the world, and one of the top 3 agencies in Europe. With literally more than 50. They niche down, and they focus specifically on WooCommerce websites. And I met Jimmy at WordCamp Dublin last year. In 2019 already. And I was really amazed by the way that he was looking at systems at scale. It's like nothing else. He's looking at it like a car's. Not even a car, like an airplane's, like an F-16's dashboard. That's how he runs his agency. All of these kind of gouges and numbers that are running there that give him the health of every single project, every single employee. So really, there's a whole lot to learn from this person.
Nice, very cool. Colleen Gratzer, talking about how ignoring accessibility costs you and your clients. Second one on accessibility. That's good to see.
Yeah.
Topher de Rosier, 5 tips to make your employees raving fans. Topher is, of course, behind Hero Press, and certainly knows how to big people up, which is really nice. Marcel, how to run a more profitable agency. Again, what's not to like? And then, nice. Michelle Frechette, building community to build your brand. She's one of the best community builders we've got in our space, without a shadow of a doubt. So hearing from her will be really nice.
Customer success, that's her game. That's how she perfected that.
Yeah, she's very good. Very, very good indeed. So we went through the what's it called and whatnot. We went through the when, we got the date sorted. We've now been through the who in terms of sponsorship and who's actually going to be speaking. Just to say, we don't yet have the schedule for those events, I don't think. So if you want to know exactly when they're coming out, will that be in the next few days? You'll be putting dates and time?
Is already set, but I would actually encourage people to sign up. And then you're going to get the schedule.
Got it.
Because you don't want to come in for a session. You really want to learn from these people. This is, imagine that you could have like 1 week where you can listen to 40 people that have gone through the path that you want to walk through. And this is exactly what we tried to create here. So it's not about attending this 1 hour, that 1 hour. From every session, you're going to get at least a few gold nuggets that you can take and scale your business and grow something with it.
Nice. Well, that then brings us to how. This is the final point we want to sort of address today, because I know that you're keen to show off how it all works. I'm going to make that go into the stream. So we'll replace my stream with your stream. There we go. And just give us a quick tour, because I think it's fair to say that these online events, they can be a little bit samey. They can sometimes be something that you don't want to be involved in. You may not know where things are. So Vito's just going to talk us through the platform that they're using to make this Atarim Summit work smoothly.
So what we wanted to create is again a unified experience when it comes to joining an event. In a lot of cases, when you go to virtual events, you just get like a stack of webinars, right? So you just go from one session to the next, and you're missing out on what I think is one of the biggest aspects of attending events as a whole, which is the hallway track, meeting other people, networking with other people. right?
How we miss.
How we met. This is how we met. We're basically the minute my first memory of you, Nathan, is you holding a glass of beer, right?
This is a very typical memory. Yeah.
holding a glass of beer. Paul is introducing me to you, and you're like, "Oh yes, you're from Israel. I've been to Israel," you know. And then you gave me a sticker that I still have somewhere here.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Put out a sticker from your pocket.
Yeah,
so,
I really miss all that side of things. So replicating it online, that's what we've got at the minute, right?
Yes, that's what we're trying to create with the networking now. So first of all, the session track is where you're going to see all of those goodies that we've just seen in there. So if I'm going to go inside, you can see that we have like this collaboration right here where people can ask questions and engage with each other. Everything is live, which is something that we're advancing from last year, where everything was pre-recorded. This time, every single session is going live, and there is allocated 20 minutes out of every session for Q&A. So you should please come with your questions for all of those amazing speakers. And you can see the schedule right here below as it kind of unfolds. And this is where you basically consume the content itself. And then we're going to move over to the lounge where we can hang out with other people. You're probably going to see me popping here. Oh, hello.
Hello.
So this is where people are going to be hanging out together. Last time, I even saw you here for a bit. You didn't come for a lot, but you were there for a bit. But we had people that were literally here throughout the entire event, waking up and logging in, eating breakfast with us, and closing the day with a drink in the evenings. So this was like a really awesome draw where people were not only talking about the different stuff and making different stuff around building websites, but the conversations really went into random things, like you would expect at the hallway track. And of course, this year we added even the share screen, so people can actually show some stuff, show some tools, and so on, so they can engage further. But if you want to start having a smaller conversation or a deeper conversation, probably going to be hard to do this here with dozens of people connected into that feed. So there's those hangout spots right here below where you can go in and create like a more meaningful conversations, build that relationship. So what we saw last year is people posting here on the chat, "Hey Vito, can you please meet me at the by the fire or next to or at the bar?" And then you just go down, you click through, and you have a private conversation one-on-one to create really strong relationships or leverage any opportunities that may come from these events.
Nice.
And I'm going to take you to the exhibit hall, which is the last kind of big section that we have right here. So we're talking about sponsors at the beginning and how they are the driving force really behind running an event like this. But also, everyone want to get some free stuff, right? So when you go to an event, you got to leave with at least 5 T-shirts and 3 coasters, right? So that's where you do that. So every sponsor has their own booth in here that you can just go in, and sometimes there's going to be even someone sitting inside here in the video block, and you can win all kinds of cool stuff. Nice. Just straight up money. Is giving straight up money in here. And let's see some other guys. Let's see what Elementor are doing. I think people are still building some of those things out.
Yeah, that's fair enough. There's still time, right? There's still time.
They still have some time to do all those things, but some discounts on their plans, some swag. Let's have a look at Nexus here, what they are going to be offering. So you can see every brand has their own little environment, and they're still gonna be. Oh no, it's right here. Grand prize drawing. It's like a surprise. We don't know what that will be yet. So yeah.
But you kind of come in here and spin the wheel and hope to get lucky, kind of thing.
Yes, exactly. You can actually take each one and spin all the wheels, and get a whole lot of cool stuff sent directly to you. Let's see grid pane just to kind of wrap this section up, and you can see $1,000 donation, free lifetime deal of a developer on there. But this is like $4,000 on its own.
Yeah, it's not cheap using those services over a long period. Wow, that's great.
T-shirts and 1 hour consultant. That's awesome. So
this is a nice way for you to connect the audience that show up with the value that the sponsors have put in. That's really nice. I like the interactivity of that. That's cool.
Awesome. And there actually can go inside. So if I'm going to take you to my demo environment, and I'm going to turn on the booth video.
Okay. Then does it behave a bit like you had a minute ago with the chat, that you can sort of like switch on the? Ooh.
Exactly. So no one sees that unless you're a sponsor. So you're getting like behind the scenes.
I see. This is your UI to build out the actual room itself. Got it.
All right.
Check it out.
And so people can come here and spin the wheel. And check out what we're all about.
This must have taken a lot of time and work from your team to get all this up and running. Well done.
Yeah, so this is the game basically. So during rush hours, morning, lunch, and evening, most of the booths are gonna be manned. So if you have questions for the different sponsors, and we're gonna have like literally the CEOs of these massive companies sitting here at some hours of the day, so that they can get to know the people that they're serving. And this is a great opportunity for all of you guys to come and meet the people that created the products and services that we use every day.
It's great. I like. I have to say, I like gimmicks. I'm quite into like little things which just make things seem, seem a bit more fun and engaging, and that just looks really great. From the point of view of the sponsor, they'll be delighted, and from the point of view of you, it's a nice way to draw people in and get them to see your content. So let me just plot my screen back on again, and I'll take you right to the top of that screen, because that's where all the important stuff happens. There's a link for you if you want to use that. That's an affiliate link from our part, but obviously you can Google it yourself if you wish. But it is all happening next week from Tuesday, March 23rd to the 26th inclusive. There's a boatload of speakers. As we've said, you can find them all on that page. Vito, what a great event. Bravo, mate. You. Well done. Thank you. Thanks for joining us and telling us all about it.
Thanks for having me, Nathan. It was great to hang out, as always.
You're very welcome. See you later.